Tonight on Chicago This Week, we introduce you to the 13 newly elected elder people who will be joining Chicago City Council. Our reporters are scattered across the city with insight into the most pressing issues. From the 4th Ward, hey Kennedy.
In this ward, public safety is the main priority for the newly elected Alderman Lamont Robinson, who also happens to be making history as the first openly gay black alderman to be represented in City Council.
From the 26th Ward, hi Brenda.
Find out how this new alderwoman is breaking barriers and making history right here in her community.
From the 6th Ward, hi Lena.
When you think about the south side of Chicago, your thoughts might not go immediately to the personal stories that exist within these neighborhoods. However, I spoke to the district's newest alderman, who went from being a resident to the next person in charge.
From the 30th Ward, hi Mia.
Find out what the new alderwoman has to say on the safety of children and the elderly.
From the 5th Ward, hey Demita.
Find out what Alderman Desmond Yancey is planning on doing as he deals with the political issues that surround his ward.
From the 21st Ward, hi Ayana.
Leading the 21st Ward has been a lifetime in the making. Stay tuned to what Ronnie Mosley has to come.
All that and more on this special episode of Chicago This Week. Hello and welcome. I'm Ophelia Dane. Along with the 13 new elder people, Brandon Johnson was also elected as Chicago's 47th mayor. This has set a precedent, making his wife, Stacey Rancher Johnson, the first black first lady. Abby Buston has more on Johnson's first few weeks in the office. Abby, tell us more.
Hi Ophelia. Mayor Brandon Johnson has had a busy first few weeks in office. On his first day in office, he signed 4 executive orders. One order aimed at boosting youth employment. Another established a deputy mayor on immigrant, migrant, and refugee rights. A third order established a deputy mayor for labor relations. And the last order established a deputy mayor for community safety. Crime and safety is one of Mayor Johnson's real challenges. As the summer months come into full swing, people are more out and about. There are more tourists, and as we've seen about a month ago, teens are getting out of school, grouping up, and unfortunately, this sometimes leads to violence. The city saw 53 individuals shot and 11 dead just on Memorial Day weekend. Of course, it takes a lot to run a city like Chicago, and this is just the beginning for Mayor Johnson's 4-year term. Back to you, Ophelia.
Thanks, Abby. In the 4th Ward, Alderman Lamont Robinson is now the first openly gay black man in City Council. He was previously a representative in the Illinois House. Kennedy Chase tells us more about his priorities.
Located on the south side of Chicago is the 4th Ward, ran by the newly elected Alderman Lamont Robinson. With a passion for public safety and food insecurity, the community only hopes Mr. Robinson can keep his promises.
I've always fought for the 4th Ward. When Mercy Hospital was scheduled to close, I protested, and with the community's help, we saved it.
Lamont Robinson, the new alderman of the 4th Ward, who assumed office on May 15th of this year. The 4th Ward covers the neighborhoods of Bronzeville, Kenwood, Douglas, and South Loop, and is known as one of the most progressive wards in Chicago. According to Robinson, during his first 10 days in office, he was able to resolve 63 issues, attend 32 meetings and events, and had his first city council session. Before Mr. Robinson was elected alderman of the 4th Ward, he represented the 5th District at the Illinois House of Representatives.
How, as a state legislator, can I be helpful? And my charge was to put that back on the community and schools, to say, point me in the right direction. You are a great organization that knows what the issues and concerns are in our neighborhoods. And I look forward to working with communities and schools to be able to make sure that we fund our neighborhood schools, that we give our teachers resources, and that we also stem some of the violence that we're seeing in the city of Chicago.
Dedicated to diversity and inclusion, Mr. Robinson is the first openly gay black man to be represented in City Council.
Representation matters. And so, as a member of the Illinois General Assembly, I take the community with me.
He strives to provide more LGBTQ+ resources on the South Side, along with more jobs and affordable housing. With issues like public policy and food insecurity, I'm here in the 4th Ward talking to residents about what they would like to see in their community moving forward. Public safety is not just on the mind of Alderman Lamont Robinson, but also on the minds of 4th Ward residents.
I think one of the biggest things that we can kind of address is like safety. There's been a couple incidents already in the area of like theft. One of my classmates got held up and got his stuff stolen. So I think that's kind of like, pretty generic, but safety is always an issue.
Likewise, the concern of affording a place to live is a priority for some.
I'd love to see more, affordable housing brought into the mix and, bring the diversity of that kind into the neighborhood as well.
And as long as the new alderman is accessible, that's all some residents are hoping for.
I just hope the new alderman is as accessible as the old alderman.
We've learned about the plans and policies of Alderman Lamont Robinson, and we've listened to the community's concerns. Now we wait to see if those plans are put into action and if those concerns are actually met. In Chicago, Kennedy Chase, Chicago This Week. Back to you, Ophelia.
Senior pastor and now alderman of the 6th Ward, William Hall knows all about resilience. Growing up, his neighbor was Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Mobley Till. Lena Folks spoke with him about his ward and what needs to be done on the south side.
Thanks, Ophelia. I'm in the 6th Ward right now, and I'm standing outside St. James Community Church, where Alderman Hall preaches and holds his Tuesday meetings. He welcomes the voices of the community, specifically the youth, and he has a very special connection to this ward. Let me show you what I mean. Chesterfield, Greater Grand Crossing, Park Manor, Inglewood, Auburn Gresham, and Chatham, South Side Chicago neighborhoods that make up the 6th Ward. And the person recently elected to represent these communities, Alderman William Hall.
And, for us, our ward is in need of some serious building. Like, we are dealing with dilapidated infrastructure, lights dim, curbs not done, streets with potholes. Thousands of homes with lead piping. We're in an innovative age, right? And so we want to build an innovative infrastructure that makes people say, I want to live there because of the amount of, solar panel homes and, green spaces that are, also spaces of art and culture.
In addition to his position as a 6th Ward alderperson, Hall serves as a senior pastor of the St. James Community Church.
We're praying for the city of Chicago. So as a pastor, the first priority is to, inspire people to live through their faith. It's for the faith community to know that, we have to support them also through believing in our faith as we do the work. Faith without works is dead. And so as we do this work to, make a better, safer, stronger Chicago, let's add our faith into it.
One major goal for Hall is to prioritize education and focus on young people.
I'm having this community meeting. Gentleman walks in with like about 20 kids. And so we were talking about the first 100 days. And I'm like, we do this all the time. We talk at. Let's have a conversation. And what do you want, young people? And the acts were very simple.
Teachers at 6th Ward schools like Dixon Elementary are already working to make young students envision professional futures.
I'm appreciative for my grandfather teaching me how to tie at the age of 7. And so as a 2nd grade teacher, I wanted to make sure that my young men in our classroom and the young ladies knew how to tie a tie.
Tie Tuesday helped me in class by motivating me to keep my grades up.
And I want to show them just a different side of the world that I know. It's like merging lives with each other. They're learning something from me, I'm learning something from them.
A native to the 6th Ward, Hall was born in Chatham. As the neighbor of mother of Emmett Till, Hall learned the deep stories of history.
So it's in my blood, and seeing it through the lens of a woman who survived a tragedy that brought America together 50, 60 years later, right? A divided America that was listening, wanting to know what's the next step on finding justice for a little boy who went to just get away, right? To be a kid.
His background of mentors, including Till, helped him understand his potential as a future city leader.
And you hear from her perspective is different than coloring books, it's different than textbooks or movies. So even when I looked at the movie Till, I was like, yo, Mr. Mobley, he did have a barbershop right down the street, like 1 block that way, and he cut our hair. You know, just grateful to be able to say, I was there, I was a part of that. Because that's what makes Chicago, that's what makes this ward special. It's the baptism of Black history through the lens of real-time neighbors.
Alderman Hall will continue to hold community spaces at St. James until the first few weeks of June.
Among the 13 newly elected elder people are Peter Chico in the 10th Ward and Julia Ramirez in the 12th. Chico was previously a police officer serving the 4th District. He wants to bring more Chicagoans to his ward at the edge of the city on the south side. And Ramirez has become the first woman to lead her ward. She focused her campaign on public safety with a community-driven process. In the 5th Ward, Alderman Desmond Yancey is an organizer to his core, and he's now the first Black man to represent the ward. Demita Menezes spoke to him about what he plans to do for the marginalized as the ward economic development source.
Hi Ophelia. The 5th Ward consists of the neighborhoods Hyde Park, South Shore and Woodlawn. And it also is a very diverse area because it also consists the campus of the University of Chicago. This ward is known for its political advocacy and economic development. As you can see, there's a lot of construction happening behind me. Well, that is the construction of the Obama Presidential Center, a very controversial construction site because it is pushing a lot of gentrification and increase in investment from outsiders. Alderman Desmond Yancey told me that he is willing and ready to work with people on the ground to make sure that the neighborhood and the ward is ready for what's to come as this construction is completed.
One of my priorities is to make sure that we're able to move not just redevelopment in South Shore, but redevelopment in a way that doesn't come at the expense of the people who live there currently.
The Obama Presidential Center has helped artificially raise the price of homes here, and the Obama Center, while they claim they're doing such great things for the community, in fact are an environmental disaster.
According to the Community Benefits Agreement Coalition, South Shore is the #1 neighborhood for eviction filings. 77% of residents are renters. And Yancey wants to form a dialogue around the Obama Center with residents.
You know, there's been a lot of public conversation about it. Some of the conversations have sort of withered to like voices in the community speaking amongst themselves. And so I want to be able to use my role as alderman to bring those voices back together so we can have real robust conversation, not just about the effect of the building that's coming, but also the impact that it makes when it's here and how we can connect young people and seniors and people who currently live in the community and bring new people to the community, all to create something vibrant, really for our young people to see as, you know, a monument towards success.
Another concern in the ward is public safety.
So every now and then there will be certain nights where I'm coming home from work and it'll be in the evening and I see a bunch of police cars around and it's just like, okay, something must have happened. I don't know what, but it's definitely something I would advise people to be a little cautious about.
Yancey, who is the son of a former police officer, is advocating for police reform.
We have a public safety system that is in need of reform. And it's important as we think about this new police superintendent, you know, the work of the district councils and the permanent commission that's going to be seated later this year, that we're putting all the pieces in place. This all coming at the same time that we have a new mayor and a largely new city council.
In a vibrant community dedicated to issues like affordable housing, public safety and gentrification, Alderman Yancey definitely has his work cut out for him. In the 5th Ward, I'm Demita Menezes, Chicago This Week.
Don't go anywhere. We have more wards to cover, including the 26th Ward that houses the first queer Latina alderwoman.
Extremely lucky to be, you know, proof of concept of what it means to like really pour into young people.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Welcome back. Alderwoman Yelu Gutierrez has taken over a ward held tightly by indicted Alderman Ed Burke, for 50 years. The 14th Ward has now the first Latina representing it after Burke resigned from the position. In the new 34th Ward, Alderman Bill Conway is the first alderperson to represent it. The ward, which was newly drawn in 2022, includes parts of downtown and West Loop.
Thanks, Abby. In a historic moment, Jessie Fuentes is shattering barriers. She's the first woman and youngest alderperson to lead the Chicago's 26th Ward. Brenda O'Donis sat down with her to find out what it means to her ward.
Jessie Fuentes, the name on everyone's lips, and the 26th Ward's newest alderwoman.
For so long, this position has been ran by men, straight, cisgendered men. And not to say that, a lot of those men didn't do great work, but it is to say that, a community only seen one form of identity represented in this office.
But not anymore. Breaking barriers, Fuentes is not only the youngest, but also the first woman and queer person to serve as alderman in the 26th Ward.
I'm not just a queer Latina, I'm a masculine presenting queer Latina. And it speaks to the possibility that we are building a Chicago that is accepting of everyone. When we talk about Chicago being a sanctuary city, then we also have to talk about the ways that that's represented in government.
According to the LGBTQ+ Victory Fund, Chicago now has the most LGBTQ identifying officials in city council across the United States. But Fuentes' popularity doesn't stem from her age, gender, or sexual orientation.
I don't think any of those labels matter. What matters is that Jessie is human and that Jessie is an extremely compassionate human.
Jessie is from this community. She was raised in this community. So when you come into this community and you say Jessie, everybody knows.
But Fuentes didn't have the easiest upbringing.
I had a very typical upbringing of what it meant to grow up in poverty, what it meant to be a first generation of born citizen in the U.S. by two parents. And so it was a lot of grappling with being a daughter of an incarcerated parent, what it meant to be a daughter of two individuals that suffered from substance abuse, or to attend a Chicago public school that oftentimes felt like a pipeline to prison.
With the odds stacked against her, Fuentes leaned on her community.
I'm from a community that's filled with organizing and activism and so much beauty in being able to center individuals that have been the most marginalized. And I'm extremely lucky to be, proof of concept of what it means to really pour into young people.
And that's exactly what she plans to do. Using early life experiences and more recent ones, including working in the Chicago public school system and in the policy and youth advocacy sectors, Fuentes plans to improve public safety, affordable housing, small business support, and education. She will do this through a variety of ways, such as implementing culturally competent after-school programs, increasing mental health resources, supporting staff and faculty members, and creating a small business resource hub.
I also expect us to continue to break glass ceilings through the type of legislation that we put forward.
Reporting from the 26th Ward, I'm Brenda Ordonez, Chicago This Week.
Sticking with the LGBTQ caucus, it now also includes Alderman Ben Lawson. He served the 44th Ward as Chief of Staff to Alderman Tom Tunney for 15 years. He's now taking the reins himself. I went to the ward to find out more about his plan.
Growing up in Illinois and serving the public for almost 2 decades, Ben Lawson continues his service in a new role this month, Alderman of the 44th Ward. As soon as he was elected, Alderman Lawson served thousands of residents to set his agenda. Public safety is one of his top priorities. 19th Police District Council is a new elected body that covers the 44th Ward. It aims to expand public safety services and be the voice of the community.
We have a vision of making sure that we're elevating marginalized voices in our area because not everyone always feels heard in the public safety conversation and not everyone feels comfortable speaking directly to police officers, so we can play that bridge.
The council plans to step in to reach where the police can't.
Things like mental health crises, where if we could send a mental health professional, they'd be better equipped to de-escalate some of those situations and help connect those folks to broader care, and also take something off the plate of the police so they can focus more on their core tasks.
The council holds monthly public meetings to communicate their progress and plans to make 19th Police District a safer place.
The first of which is just this coming week, where we will get to showcase the updates of how we've been doing outreach in the community and also spotlight specific issues around public safety that have broader resonance within the district.
Beyond public safety, Alderman Lawson is committed to making the 44th Ward a safe and inclusive place for the LGBTQ community.
We're on the street in North Hallstead, formerly known as Boys Towns. You can see rainbow signs, painting, flags, murals everywhere, and there's even a rainbow walkway right behind me. It's the largest LGBTQ-friendly neighborhood in the Midwest, and it's in 44th Ward.
Alderman Lawson has helped and supported some LGBTQ projects and facilities in the neighborhood, such as development of Center on Hallstead LGBTQ Senior Living Facility and Howard Brown Health Center. People expressed their excitement for having an LGBTQ leader to represent their community.
That's great. I'm gay, so it's nice.
I think it's important that the person representing us, is really representative of the community as a whole.
Residents also give advice to Alderman Lawson on making the 44th Ward a better place.
Just promoting new local businesses.
We need more stuff for to solve homelessness, drug problems and things like that.
Public transportation. The buses ghost me all the time.
Affordable housing.
Sidewalks.
Yeah, the sidewalks could use a little repair.
Alderman Lawson has the next 4 years to respond to the residents' needs and make his visions come true.
Up in the north side, Alderwoman Angela Clay won a tough race to represent this 46th Ward. It was one of the most expensive races this year. And in the 48th Ward, Lenny Mana Hoppenworth is the first alderperson of Filipino descent to represent it. This race was also a tough one to win as she defeated other candidates with more resources and money. Stick with us, we're heading to the 30th and 21st Wards to find out what these outer people are deciding to do.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Alderwoman Ruth Cruz migrated from Mexico when she was 7 years old. She knows all about what it means to want to feel safe and secure. She tells Mia Bearden that she wants to work with nearby wards to help the city overall.
Alderwoman Ruth Cruz represents the 30th Ward. I spoke to her on what the most pressing issues are that she wants to address. Here's more. One of the most important issues to Alderwoman Cruz is public safety.
Something that is a major concern, we would say, across the city is public safety. We all want to make sure that we feel safe when we leave our house.
In order to have a safer little village, or a safer Chicago in this case, we had to be partners.
So what I have been doing already, I met with all 3 districts in my ward, which is 25th District, 16 and 17, to talk about those areas. What are those hot spots area?
Mayor Brandon Johnson is proposing a city grant for businesses in Little Village. Alderwoman Cruz also supports local businesses as well as education.
We want to make sure that we are also empowering our small businesses. Our small businesses are the backbone of our economy in the ward. So we want to make sure that not only we help those new businesses come into the ward, but also help those who are currently have businesses, whether it's through grants, whether it's through micro grants, I rather say, to be able to, for them to bring something different. I also would love to partner with universities to offer internships to their students, or business students, or marketing students, or accounting students, different type of students that can come in and do an evaluation to some of these businesses. What are they missing? What will be that extra thing for them to do better? Whether it's maybe a graphic designer to, do a website, whether it's to revise their menu, for example. What is it that they can bring, and it will be win for both sides, not only for the business, but also for the students to get the knowledge and the experience that they need.
Alderwoman Cruz invites her residents to stop by with their concerns or to just say hello.
Just want my residents to know there is an open door policy. Come, talk to me. What is going on? And you will get a response, an honest response from me. We want to make sure that we're always being accessible for our residents. But again, and it's just, again, we're ready to work. We have been working, and anyone can feel free to stop by the office.
With the help of the City Council and the Mayor, Alderwoman Cruz believes she can make real change in her first term. In Chicago, Mia Bearden, Chicago This Week.
Alderman Ronnie Mosley knows what it's like to grow up around gun violence. He wants to make a change. Ayana Brana tells us about a program that is helping kids coming out from the juvenile system.
At 31, Ronnie Mosley is the youngest member of the City Council. Opening next month is his office, which is right behind me. Mosley hopes that being in the heart of Halsted Street will be, and I quote, our Black Wall Street.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Mosley, your neighbor in Washington Heights, and I'm running to be the next alderman of the 21st Ward.
Alderman Mosley will tackle one of the largest wards here on the far south side. He wants to start by upgrading resources regarding youth, economic development, and gun safety, issues he knows from growing up in the community.
I'm a proud son of Chicago's South Side, an alum of Simeon Career Academy, and Morehouse College. I face some of the same challenges that we all face from time to time.
One organization that builds relationships between the child and the family is surprisingly called BUILD. It is based on Chicago's West Side and is nationally respected for its intense mentoring and the supporting of children who have been in gangs or in the juvenile justice system.
We take pride in making working with young people and turning them into leaders. We do a lot of intense mentorship. We do a lot of we have a lot of programs for the youth, like arts and crafts, music studio, music program. We have recreational sports.
Mosley talks a lot about knowing the community, but when asked, the community still doesn't know who Ronnie Mosley really is. I had a chance to speak to a councilwoman who has a rich knowledge about getting the community to know you better.
I think it's very important as an elected official to go where the people are and don't expect them to just walk into your office. I like to attend events in the community, making sure that I have accessible hours, or, here's my cell phone number, text me, email me, just being available and around, going to where the people are, attending those, block parties in the summertime or the neighborhood meeting associations, and just in general, making sure that you're listening to the people so that you're providing what they want, not just your own personal interests.
Mosley got his start in politics when he was still in high school. How? By leading a citywide demonstration.
When I learned that my education was different because of where I live, I led CPS's largest demonstration in history and became the first student board member.
What's the solution? Let's go out and be that.
Simeon Senior Class President Ronnie Mosley leading the call.
Dr. Cornell West reminds us that justice is what love looks like in public. And as your next alderman, I want you to know I'm going to fight for justice in public safety and public services.
With the 21st and 34th Ward combining with each other, Mosley will be able to serve the people and the institutions who raised him. Reporting from Halsted Street, Ayana Bronner, Chicago This Week.
Well, that's all for this final episode of Chicago This Week. Thanks again for watching us this season. Have a great night, everyone.